And why this is all going on, this wasn't, I mean, it was just because, so she's been a volunteer there since she was like a little kid, I guess, so they knew her too, so that's, that's what's going on too. And her and Aaron really, I shouldn't have said a name, I shouldn't say names, but they really connected, really well. And so, like, I mean, Aaron was over here, like, in February, like, bragging about, like, just bragging about, I mean, not bragging about her, but Mary asked about her. I said another name. Mary, whatever, it doesn't matter. She asked about her, like, hey, who is this girl you guys have been hanging out with? Like, who is she? And my dad's like, who is she? And Mary's like, yeah, tell me about her. And, they're all kind of curious, like, who is this girl you guys have been hanging out with? Like, what's going on here? Like, are you guys adopting her? What's happening? My dad's like, it's almost like they've stolen her from her family. And so they can tell something's going on. And I'm kind of like, uh-oh, like, what's happening? You know what I mean? And, so he kind of basically said, he's been calling her their daughter, which is so sweet. Like, but yeah, finding out, yeah, she's gonna be. There's police driving by. Okay, anyways, got it. Okay, anyways, but yeah, so he basically was like saying how, he was like, yeah, like, she just loves working with the kids. She's so passionate about it. She just loves it. And she's just been hanging out in the house. She's been sick. So Ginger's been like mama bear with her. Hearing that, like, that was like, that was like a direct stab to the heart, hearing that. And I just kind of sat there and like, just was smiling like, oh, like, okay. I just kind of was like, acting like I was okay with it. So yeah, that was kind of tough to hear all of that, because I noticed like she hasn't said anything to me about this other girl that they've been hanging out with, because for so many years, since about like 2019 or 2018, I've been, over there so much over the years. And I mean, it hasn't been that long, but it's been a while. It's been a few years. It's been long enough. But, and I felt like, honestly, they've been like second parents to me over the years, and they've felt that way with me. And so, 'cause again, they both never had any kids, so that, and they just were like escaping into work for the longest time, because again, it's a network marketing company that they were in, and they basically were told by the top of the board that they were no longer considered leaders to them anymore, which is like really horrible news to hear. So it's like, so they've been like dealing with all of that, and then so that's been really difficult and challenging. So anyway, but yeah, Aaron was just kind of like just saying how, like, yeah, because I noticed because I went on her Instagram, because I'm just gonna be honest, I was stalking a little bit. I was just curious. I'm like, what's what is she all about? I've stalked her parents a little bit on Facebook. Again, just being honest, because I'm like, who are her parents? Like, what's she all about? What is her life like? Like, I'm kind of curious about her. I mean, Mary was too, so felt kind of weird. I'm like, I'm definitely stalking a little bit, but I'm curious, like, what's going on here, right? So yeah, so anyways, apparently this doesn't matter at all, but I'm like, I guess she has like 7 siblings, which is kind of wild, but yeah, anyway, that's a lot of siblings. But okay, so, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, so they've just been kind of hanging out with her all the time, and Aaron was just, I mean, going on and on about her, like bragging about her, and just say, well, he wasn't bragging about her, but just saying like, I love her like I would love my own, which is really sweet. And he was like, yeah, like she's just been like hanging out in the house and stuff. Yeah, she's, and she's gonna be living with us. And he's like, not in the house though, like I'll build her something, which I was thinking in the house, like she's gonna stay with you guys in your house, like that's pretty next level. So he's like, no, I'll build something for her. But so it's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But still, it's like when you're living with someone, you just, whether they're a good person or not, when you're living with someone, you just naturally get closer with them over time. You just do. So anyways, her and I still talk like all the time though, and I know she definitely still wants a connection with me. This is not easy to talk about. It's like, again, then I go on there and I see these pictures of them together and stuff, and it's like, I feel like something's just been stolen from me, like something's been ripped away from me, and I never imagined this ever happening, never thought in a million years this would ever happen. And I know that was kind of what happened with them in the company, hearing that news. But still, it's like, it's almost like been like a spiral. It's like, yeah, we won't be seeing you guys anymore, and then, yeah, we're hanging out with this other person now, like, whatever. And it's like, are you serious? Okay, well, anyway. Even Mary was like, yeah, we'll never have another Tuesday night thing again, so, and it's like, well, that sucks. So anyway, because I noticed that was their last one last year. That was it, and they were done. And yeah, we still keep up. I mean, even if I go a few days without talking to her, she's like, well, hello, which is kind of funny. She's like, she'll be like, or I think it was like a week, because she was basically telling me, because I was like upset about something, I was talking to her about it, and she was like, oh, and then at the end of it, I was like, I know you just need to move on, whatever. She was like, oh my gosh, yes, time to move on. And it was a little bit, I don't know, and I, after hearing that, because I was like, okay, and I'm thinking that was rude, and then I just, like, she wasn't trying to be rude, but I cried and stuff, and so, anyways, yeah, I cried about that, which I know that's just me being a sensitive bee or whatever, but anyway, so then I was kind of mad, because I was like, that was just really insensitive, and then I didn't talk to her for like a week, and then on the end of the 8th day, like the evening of the 8th day, I messaged her again and stuff, and we talked a little bit, whatever. She was like saying, yeah, like I'm super busy and blah, 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 blah. Apparently they were hanging out. Apparently they had celebrated his birthday like all week long with her. Like I'm finding this out now, that apparently they had went bowling and together, and they went out to eat together and just doing all these fun things and stuff. They did a thing for Valentine's Day, like gave her a teddy bear. It was like really, I was like, I mean, just looking at these pictures, like she looks so happy, and so anyways, I mean, so yeah, I guess she's gonna be living with them now, so I'm kind of, and I noticed her and I talk at night quite a bit, like we talk a lot. So, anyways, we still talk a lot, but it's just not the same as actually like being by them. She was just like, yeah, I lost like 28, probably about 30 pounds. Now she's like, I've lost like 30 pounds and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, wow. Because, just not having to be all go with that business anymore. That's been like helping them. So I don't know. It's been like it was a weird year last year. 2024 was probably one of the worst years besides 2021. I'll talk about that stuff on my channel, like what I was dealing with, all, what was happening during that year. And 2022 wasn't the best year either. That was challenging year too, actually. 2023 was like, okay, it was all right. Yeah, last year was not a good year. It was really weird. Because you go from being over at, I'll just say where it's at Roanoke Ranch. You go from, because it's like, I kind of grew up over there. I really did. And I mean, I didn't actually like live with them, but I was over there like all the time for years. And so it's like, yeah, I kind of grew up over there. So it's like, you go from like being over there all the time to like, I mean, at least it's like whether it was like once a week, like because it was every Tuesday or it was a Saturday training or whatever, like they just had all these fun things going on all the time. So you go from being over there like at least like every week or once a month or whatever, you go from being over, or every other week or whatever, you go from being over there like all the time to only 4 times last year. So that was really difficult, and this year I'm kind of like, I don't think I'm gonna be over there at all this year. I don't know, maybe because she told me that that girl was over there with I'm not gonna say names or anything, but yeah, so she was over there last night with like 2 of her friends, and she was over there with 2 of her friends, and they're putting together a worship concert there, and it's like, that's actually really fun. That's cool. So, I mean, I get it. At this point, they don't want to be workaholics anymore like they were. They want to enjoy their life. I totally get that. Absolutely, And they should. Everyone should. So, anyways, they but yeah, her and her friends are putting together a worship concert there. So, and they actually did have a band playing there before, but they like canceled on. They canceled like at the last minute because I think it was in 2020, I believe. It was a Saturday morning training that I was over there for, which by the way, it was so fun. Like it was so fun, and I loved it. Like I really miss all that stuff, but it was a band called Shimmy Pearl, which that's kind of a bit of a goofy name, but so they were gonna play right after that, and we were all gonna like sit outside, listen to some music and hang out and stuff, and they ended up canceling at the last minute. So I remember that I was like, oh, that sucks. And Aaron he wasn't happy about that. And Ginger was like, it's a beautiful day out, because the sun was out and stuff. So it was like, oh, well, whatever, So anyways, and then in 2022, during the summer, I think it was, like in June or July or something like that, they ended up being like, hey, like, can we come over? It was very last minute, but they were like, sure. So, they ended up going and playing over there. There was a flyer put out at the last minute, not in time for us to see it, but so some people ended up coming over, and people were just hanging out listening to music, so that was kind of cool. But anyway, we weren't there for that, unfortunately, because we just didn't see the flyer in time. But yeah, so but anyways, and then she was like, hey, we need to, and then she said to like Jason, I'm rambling a little bit. This is why some of the other videos that I'm gonna do, I need to write notes down, because I'm just gonna like end up rambling on and get on to other topics and stuff. So I need to like actually write notes down not other topics, but I need to write notes down to kind of stay on that timeline, if that makes sense. But yeah, so anyways, so that's just kind of just to give you an idea of just what that meant to me and stuff. Anyways, yeah, she said to Jason Fowler, she was just like, because he commented on it, and we actually that's actually when the first time I met them was at a Jason Fowler concert that Julie had hosted, she didn't host it, but she was involved or whatever, but, so, yeah, she had, commented, she's like, hey, we need to get you guys over here. And it's like, yeah, really, like, what are you guys doing? Come over. Like, you know, that would be so fun to, like, have concerts over there, like, get, like, have people bring their lawn chairs and listen to some music, you know, and they're kind of like, I wish Julie would do that, you know, instead of investing in these stupid patches. And it's like, and then their flat earth theory crap, whatever. But anyway, I'm probably gonna edit this stuff out. I shouldn't be saying that on here, because she's like such a nice, she really is a great lady. She's like super nice and has nothing but good intentions. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna be done talking about all this because I need to go into work now. This is why I'm just doing volunteer work right now, because I just don't even know what I want to do. I have no idea. Trying to figure that out. That's been stressing me out a lot. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Alright, I'm gonna be done rambling on now. Bye-bye.